A Quest 3 is almost an inevitability at this point with how well the Quest 2 is doing. But just what kind of features will that headset have? Considering how much I got right in my 2020 video for the Quest 2, I'll go ahead and give you my 5 expectations for the Meta Quest 3 and whether or not it'll be worth your time to upgrade if you have a Quest 2. Welcome, virtual dreamers. My name is Gregory, and let's get this video started. Expectation 1. The Quest 3 will be even lighter than the Quest 2. Let's get the obvious point out of the way here. The Quest 2 was lighter than the Quest 1. It likely pulled that off by getting rid of some things like having 2 displays and the IPD adjustment slider, but it ended up becoming lighter as a result. Sacrificing features like that probably won't happen again. They'll likely have even more options for IPD if anything, but whether it's by changing the lens technology or further adjusting the shape of the headset, a lighter headset is almost undoubtedly on the cards to increase the ability for players to have longer play sessions and use their headsets more, which is something that will also be enabled thanks to the next item. Expectation number 2. Eye tracking will be included. While there's a caveat to this inclusion that I want to get into later in the video, I think this feature is going to be a must-have for all VR headsets eventually. Between Sony's PlayStation VR 2 and Meta's own Project Cambria featuring the technology, the value of eye tracking is just too great to not be included going forward. Between the immersion that seeing a character's eyes movably correctly can bring about, and the graphical power savings foveated rendering can enable, there's almost no way a Quest 3 can release without foveated rendering and expect to make a splash. Especially because of Expectation 3. The Quest 3 won't be much more powerful than the Quest 2. The Quest 2 having a Snapdragon XR2 back in 2020 was a shocker. Not because it wasn't a great choice, but rather because it was included and the headset got cheaper from the $399 price point of the Quest 1 to the $299 price point that they ended up at. While it would definitely be nice to see another dramatic boost in power via the choice of a new chip, the gains over the past 2 years in terms of processors aren't really enough to propel things forward to quite the same manner that the XR2 did compared to the 835 of the Quest 1. This is an important thing to note, as the lack of greater hardware power to work with here is going to be pretty significant due to my next expectation. Expectation number 4. Quest 2 will push back the release of the Quest 3. The Meta Quest 2 is probably the biggest phenomenon we've seen in the VR space. It's outsold the PSVR, the previous best-selling headset, in less than 2 years, and its cultural penetration is far greater than any headsets I've seen before it, with ads showing up everywhere, from your local Walmart to NBA talk shows. While it's not quite at iPhone levels, it's enough that I wouldn't expect Meta to want to just chuck the device out of the door just yet in 2022, when they can probably still get the Quest 2 to fly off shelves without worrying about any major competition in the West for the next few years. It's probably in their best interests financially to just let the likely still loss leading approach continue to ride out for a while and leave the testing of new features and competing for high-end dominance to Project Cambria. Speaking of which, that actually brings us to my final item. Expectation 5. XR will be a priority for the device. I've said this in a few videos now, but Project Cambria will likely serve as a vision for what we can expect from the future of Meta. So far, that future seems to be pointing in the direction of having XR and mixed reality functionality be king. Color pass-through, eye tracking, face tracking, better controllers. These are all features that will probably make their way into the Quest line eventually, whether that's in the Quest 3 or even a Quest 3 Pro. The battle for dominance in XR and AR is only ramping up, and more the giants in the tech space are competing for talent, patents, software, just about everything. As such, if you're on the fence about picking up a Quest 2, I'd say the fact that we're even getting a Project Cambria type device this year should reassure you that you'll be just fine to buy the Quest 2 now. After all, if Meta was going to release a Quest 3 with the same functionality as Project Cambria soon, there'd be no point in making Project Cambria in the first place now, would there? So to sum things up, if you're looking forward to the Quest 3 as a consumer, I'd say you've still got another year or so to go for that, so consider picking up the Quest 2 or saving your money in the meantime. If you're trying to be an indie developer or making software for XR like I am though, but you don't have a Quest 2 because you're on the fence about a Quest 3, stop it. Go down to the description of this video, click the affiliate link for the Quest 2 on there, buy one, and get to work already. This is the time to get into making games for VR and AR. If you're gonna wait for the Quest 3 to be out with all these new features, the only thing you're gonna be doing is watching the ship of opportunity sail away into the horizon. I don't want that for you, so get on to it, Virtual Dreamer. Till next time, this has been Gregory, logging out.